Good morning, y'all. So today we're actually gonna go out and do a little bit of work in the garden, but first I have to do chores, so may as well bring you guys with me. Chickens! Baby, you're gonna come with me to feed the goats? No, you're gonna chase the chickens. Sounds about right. Hello, ladies. Excuse me. Simmer, you gotta get out of the way, baby. Zimmery. Good, sweet girl. Come here. You know, I was just bragging on how Ada is so nice with the baby goats. That she doesn't headbutt them and she lets them eat together. Well, since I took Becker out and put him in with our buck, she's decided she kind of wants to beat up on Zimmery a little bit, so I have to feed them separately now. That's what I get for bragging, I guess. So I am currently in the process of drying up Sayla here, mostly because we're having a hard time keeping weight on her. You can kind of tell, but the video is not great. And I'm not entirely sure why. I'm doing pretty much everything I know how to do. So at this point, we're reaching out to other goat keepers and seeing what they think before I go to a vet. But one of the biggest things that I know how to do is, if you're having trouble keeping weight on a lactating doe, just dry them off, and usually they come out of it. So that's what we're in the process of doing. I would rather dry her off and have her healthy than be getting the milk from her, since we still are milking Sabella. Oh, you got him? Good job. Feeding these guys is my next chore. With all the new faces that have come, a lot of people have been asking questions about these cages that we keep our rabbits in. So let me just talk about some of the stuff with you. The wire bottoms, if they were on a different kind of wire, it absolutely could hurt their feet. We have experienced that ourselves. We had them in the wrong types of cages before and had their feet get messed up, and it was really sad, but we learned from it, and so we have this different kind of wire cage now. Let me show you the difference. So this is the type of wire cage we do not like. This wire is not coated with anything, and it is much more likely to cause problems on their feet. That's why he has this little thing to get off of the ground with, which it is time to replace. It was quite a bit bigger. He's just kind of chewed on it over time. This cage is going to be replaced, and then this will only be used for like transport or like emergency situations. But his feet are fine. We check him very regularly to make sure nothing's happening. Now this black wire, on the other hand, is a bigger gauge, and it's covered in like a polyplastic something. I don't remember what it's actually called. But because of that, it is thick enough that it does not cause any trouble for their feet. Again, we check everybody's feet very regularly, and we have not had a single problem on this kind of wire. Now, as for the size of their cages, we actually go by what is recommended for meat rabbits. So our bucks are in a 24 by 24 inch cage, and our does are in a 30 by 36 inch cage, which is plenty of room for them and their babies until their babies start getting a little too big. But by that time, it's about weaning time and they go into a really large grow out pen. We will be adding large tiles to everyone's cage, probably like 12 inches by 12 inches, so a good portion of their cage will have a big tile in it. But we're not doing that to save their feet. I'm not worried about their feet. These are good cages, we haven't had a problem. We're actually adding them because it gets so hot here in South Georgia. Being able to lay on the tiles, like on their bellies, will help them regulate their temperature a lot better. I do appreciate the concern and everyone's heart to educate, but we do make sure that our rabbits are taken very good care of, because we only want them to have one bad day, and that's processing day. So giving them the best life possible, this is the way we know how to do it. Chickens are really our last chore, but Jerry forgot to shut the gate last night, so they're already out doing their thing. I'll take a look inside, and then of course we have the old pig pen, which is no longer in use. The pig pen behind me is empty. We have processed both Jackie and Wilson. There will be a video coming out about that relatively soon, but you'll know if this isn't something you want to watch. You'll know well ahead of time. There will be lots of warnings. The thumbnail will have a warning on it. If you accidentally click on the video, I'm gonna have like a verbal warning. There's a whole slew of things to deter you from watching something you don't want to watch. Can you see her? She's laying an egg. Gotta leave her alone, okay? Come on. We'll come back later and get the eggs. Pharaoh spent his first night outside last night. He did a great job. He didn't bark at anything that wasn't a threat. And yes, he is on a chain. We tether him because he doesn't know our property well enough yet that I trust him to be running free. But this is only temporary. Hopefully within the next 2 months, he'll be ready to be off the tether. If you're new here, you probably don't know my disdain for these meat birds, but I gotta say, having them out here on the pasture, I like them way more than when they were in the brooder. We finally finished the tractor build, and I'm really liking it. It is a little heavy because of the way that we kind of rigged some things up. So like back there, that's solid wood, and that's solid wood instead of all of the hardware cloth. And really there's two reasons why we ended up going off book with our plans. One, they were out of hardware cloth at Jerry's work, and they weren't going to get any for a week or so, so we didn't want to wait that long. Number two, we have had some pretty terrible storms come through the last 3 weeks, and we figured putting the solid wood on the sides would help prevent, rain getting in there to them. Yes, baby. Bye. What is that, Judah? Chickens. Yeah. So because this is so heavy and I can't really move it by myself, I feed them in the morning, and then Jerry comes home in the evening and we move the whole tractor and then feed and water again. So my chores for this is already done for the day. So that's pretty much chores for right now back here. Gotta go get my milk and take it inside, take the toddler inside. It's almost nap time, which means it's almost garden time. These are all the plants that I have to transplant today. These all came from Jerry's work. They sell Bonnie plants there. And all of these were destined for the dumpster, so they came here instead. We have lots of basil, a couple tomatoes, some peppers, some more tomatoes. I think that's pretty much it. Good job. Alright, well Judah just went down for his nap, so let's go grab those plant starts from Jerry's work, and then we'll run out and get working on the garden. Let's see, I guess we'll do a flat of basil first, and then maybe some peppers. since the pigs are gone, we have freed up some of our panels. So when Jerry got home yesterday, we put up 2 arch trellises. We'll put another one in the middle. And then we put up a cattle panel trellis right there for our tomatoes. If you can't tell, one of my biggest gardening influencers is Jess from Roots and Refuge. So, you know, the arch trellises are all her. So today I'm going to transplant a lot of these basil and a bunch of these pepper plants. These are all jalapenos. We will definitely use them up. I love me some jalapenos. Okay, well, let's walk around and let me show you what we have growing in the garden right now. Let's start over here. This is what I call bed 1. This is mostly Swiss chard. Some of them haven't been transplanted yet. Some toys, you know, because I have a toddler. And then this is a row of herbs. There's a holy basil that you can barely see. There is some oregano, some rosemary, and then there's a big empty space where I'm gonna put the peppers. And then those are bush beans, green beans. In bed 2, we have endive, which is like a head lettuce. We've got some curly kale. We've got peas. These are dwarf peas. I've never grown peas before, so this is a new thing for me. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm gonna try and figure it out. And then we have lots of zucchini. Of course, it's not big and open and beautiful today, but yesterday, this blossom was just huge and beautiful. In bed 3, we have tomatoes and peppers. This tomato plant kind of got wrecked by a storm that came through recently, and I staked it up and tried to see if I could help it out, but it's not looking too hot. And then we've got little tiny peppers that I transplanted yesterday. I did have my tomatoes all nice and organized, and I knew where everything was, but then my dog Cooper got into the bed and kind of dug around and was trying to find the eggs that I put under the plants. My mistake, I shouldn't have let him have access to the garden. Now I'm not entirely sure what's what, but I know that there are Dr. Witchies, Paul Robeson, Cherokee Purple, and some kind of cherry tomato in here somewhere. As far as the peppers, this first section is sweet peppers, so like bell peppers, and then we have a lot of banana peppers, and the last bit is jalapenos. And then of course we have bed number 4. Originally I was going to try the Ruth Stout method of gardening, so you like put a bunch of hay down and plant whatever and just keep mulching it. But I think we are going to actually add soil. So it's time to get to work. I'm about to get my hands really good and dirty because I want to eat clean. So let's do this thing. Jim, you gonna be my garden cat today? Hang out with me? Plant some basil? Sounds good. I know these are supposed to be biodegradable, but they do take a long time to break down, at least from what I've noticed. So I'm just gonna rip it up pretty good so that the roots can poke through whenever they're ready. Well, I got in all of the peppers that I plan on doing today. I'm gonna direct sow some flowers and some cucumbers, and then we're pretty much done out here. So these are the cucumbers I'm planting on the trellis that's right here. This is just a slicing cucumber and for eating fresh, and then this one is for pickling because I'm gonna try to make my own pickles for the first time this year. So I'm excited for that. And then for flowers, I have some really colorful zinnias and some marigolds. I'm putting these pretty close together because I would like a big, thick patch right here. For the cucumbers, I'm gonna do one of each on either side of this trellis so that hopefully they will grow the same amount on either side and be able to fill out this trellis pretty evenly. Okay, well, I got everything planted except for the marigolds. I think I'm gonna hold off on them because I don't really know where I want to put them yet. So that is what we have growing in our garden right now. There's a couple more things that I want to plant that I haven't got around to yet, so we'll see if they make it into this year's garden. If you liked hanging out in our little corner of YouTube today, please consider liking, sharing, or commenting down below. This just tells the YouTube algorithm that you enjoyed this video and that it should show it to other people. And it's a really non-committal way of supporting us. Now, if you do feel like committing to us, a great way to do that is to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And that just means you're going to get a little pop-up every time we put out a new video. If you'd like to get to know us on a little bit more personal of a level, a great way to do that is to check us out on Instagram. I post there on a daily basis. If not an actual post, then I'm updating our stories very regularly. It's a great way to see things as they're happening instead of on YouTube where there's, generally a little bit of a delay. Alright y'all, thanks for keeping me company while I did chores this morning and hanging out while I planted some more in our garden. Until we meet again, bye y'all.